back at the Mauser stand. Mark, here we are again.
We are.
What's the second news you have for today?
Well, another exclusive we've got here at the Mauser stand is the Microchip MPLAB Xpress board. And this is brand new development from Microchip, takes their tools off into the cloud and really sets people free to code in a very flexible way. And with us we've got Lucio from Microchip, who's going to tell us a little bit more about it.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks for introducing Lucio. Lucio, come to the stage, our Microchip man, our specialist on the MPLAB development. Lucio, what is new? Because MPLAB is fairly familiar with engineer. It has a high level of acceptance. Everybody knows the name more or less.
I hope so.
So, yeah, sure. What is new? People want to know what's new and extra for this release. What's special about it?
Yeah, so Xpress really is MPLAB, but in the cloud.
In the cloud, so no local storage anymore?
So no local storage required, but actually what happens is that no installation required. Normally, getting to use MPLAB X means to download 0.5 gigabyte of data, and then you need to do the correct installation sequence. And what you get here is just something as easy to use as Facebook. You just get on this web page, and there you are. You have the complete professional tool at your fingertips, and it's right there, available.
But you still do need to create an account for the product, probably?
Well, so initially, if you want to just go and do a test drive, let's say, no account needed. But now if you get just the flavor of it, right?
Yeah.
And then if you want to go beyond that point, well, then you can create a My Microchip account. And with that, you get 10 gigabytes of free storage in the cloud for us. And then you get to share your projects with others, to participate with the community of developers, which is the fun part, which is actually where the new value that the cloud brings to you.
Are Microchip engineers reading along with all the postings and helping out people as well? So in other words, can we rely on expert advice from you?
Correct. So we started seeding the system, the community, with a set of examples that we tested and validated first.
Get you going examples.
Right. And so with those, we want to make sure that there is material to start with that is good material. And then from that on, they can contribute, but they can also vote each other. And so good examples, good projects contributed by other members can kind of rise to the top, and they can be selected based on the ranking. So,
is there also hardware involved, Lucio?
Correct.
Yeah. Can you show it to us?
Yes. So there is an evaluation board that we created for the purpose, and although the system is independent from the hardware, so the cloud compiler, the cloud IDE will work equally well with previous development tools like the Picket 3, that is a very popular one.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has them.
Yeah, and so the Curiosity board that we launched last year as well. But in this board here that we created this year, the evaluation, we're showing a new chip, the PIC16F18855, which is part of a new generation. It's got a lot of core-independent peripherals, which is the hot new thing in embedded today, really. And together with the online code configurator, basically using all these peripherals that are inside the chip is just a matter of just with your mouse clicking around and.
Can you mention a few peripherals on the chip, Lucio?
Oh yeah, my good. There's too many of them.
Let's say 3.
Okay, 3. I think a cool one is constant current IOs. For example, that's a new thing that we introduced brand new on this device. There is a CRC with scan. So the chip is designed for robust applications, and so it's able to check his own flash memory in the background while the code is executing. Is also self-checking for integrity, which is hot. Another thing, of course, is the configurable logic cells, which is a mini FPGA, if you want, inside a chip that can be used to connect and reconnect differently, customizing basically the hardware inside the microcontroller.
Are there any analog inputs and outputs available in this system?
Oh, good hint. Yes, there is a new one. There's a comparator, fast comparators. There is an A to D converter that has new features. It's called ADCC, ADC squared we call it, because it has basically built in the ability to do filtering, thresholding, oversampling.
What's the other C for?
The second C is computation. So
Computation.
after the conversion, it can already start computing the difference from a set point. It can also already start comparing against an upper and a lower threshold. It can do smarter things, accumulate and filter.
Kinds of offloads or lightens the load for the CPU a bit. Is that the idea?
Absolutely, that's the right idea. That's what all the core-independent peripherals are really about. And it's all about taking the load off the shoulders of the CPU, really the core, removing the load from the core and having the peripherals do a more intelligent work. It makes a more responsive product, and it also makes, it can help you lower the clock speed, can help you lower the power consumption of the device, maybe even shrink the code.
So Lucio, perhaps a simple question. How do we get started with the new MPLAB?
Okay, it's easy. You just go to mplabxpress.microchip.com. And from that page, there is all you need to go from there. You just open the IDE right there, and then you decide if you want to create your account, then you're on. And from there, the path to the professional tools, to the desktop tools, is so smooth. You don't have a second learning curve if you want. What you learn here is not something that applies only to a toy little system, but it is the professional system. And so once you learn all the buttons and the menus and you start developing your project, you can transition the project immediately to the desktop version, and you're in the professional world, and you can continue on seamlessly.
Okay, thank you, Lucio, for introducing your product.
Thank you very much.
And we're looking forward to being on Cloud 9 with MPLAB X. Okay, yes, bye.
Thank you.